he's yelling and his thumb is injured. And Jason like says something to production. He jumps in a tender and like goes over and gets him. He needs a medic, and it turns out his thumbnail has been crushed.
Sarah, this was so horrible to see. He was in so much pain and he was scared too. Like, I
Yeah.
think that was even scarier for us to
Mhm.
watch.
Hello, welcome to Above Deck, a below deck breakdown podcast. I'm Sarah Goldman, a photographer and former marine biologist living in Charleston. With me is my college roommate and co-host, Kelly.
I'm Kelly Busby, an executive assistant and former radio host, coming to you from my home studio in Columbus, Ohio. Together, we hosted the Sax Sandals radio show on WFAL in Bowling Green, Ohio, and we are back again this week to discuss Below Deck and our love of all things Bravo.
Before we get into today's recaps, we want to let you know that we are coming up on our 200th episode. 200.
Insane.
So, we're going to be marking the occasion with an Ask Us Anything segment. So, if you have a burning question, you can DM that to us on Instagram at abovedeckpod. You can email us at abovedeckpod@gmail.com. And we would also love it if you would send like an audio recording, like a voicemail. So, you
Or a
can do
video.
that. Yeah, or a video, like whatever. I think it'd be really fun to play that or like for us to hear it and then respond live. You can also leave us a voicemail. I have a Google voice account. So that phone number is 843-580-1958.
That was not the year we were
843
born.
580 1958. Um, if you're out of the country, dial a one or whatever you have to do. I don't, you figure it out. Use WhatsApp. I don't know.
I
But
just can't believe 200 episodes.
I know it's wild. It's really
It's been
snuck up on
fun.
me. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, we will remind you again next week, but please do that. I think that'd be so fun.
I'm excited.
Literally anything. You can ask us anything. Doesn't have to be below deck related. So today we'll be discussing Below Deck Down Under Season 3, Episode 3, Walking on Eggshells.
Here's your recap. Tensions rise between Zarina and Anthony, and I'm calling him Anthony, BT
Yeah,
dubs.
let's just go with that.
Okay. And he makes plans to leave the boat. Harry kisses Bree on the crew night out, and new guests arrive and enjoy the beach setup and local food. Harry injures his thumb on the jet ski and has to go to the hospital. Sarah, how many shackles?
I'm gonna give it 8. I thought it was
Yeah,
a really exciting episode. I'm sad for what happened to Harry, but boy, did it make for a compelling episode.
absolutely. Absolutely.
When the episode begins, it's the dinner on the first night out, and Zarina is upset hearing what Anthony has been saying about her, and this just isn't what she imagined their relationship was going to be like.
She did have some pretty lofty ideas of what they were going to do. Um,
Yeah.
so Anthony tells Laura, oh, she's just tired. No, he did not. Why don't
Mm.
you just tell her to smile at the same time? Like, come on,
Right.
dude.
You'd
Not
be
right.
prettier if you smiled.
That's right.
So, the girls are in one van, the boys are in another, and they're talking about like who they have crushes on. This always seems to happen, on the first
Yeah.
crew night out. And Vian says Bree, and of course Harry is disappointed. And Vian says in his green screen, like, not only is he there to work, but he's there to find a wife.
What?
Okay, all right. We
What?
don't we don't always hear that. So, on the plus side, Bree says that she really loves Harry's personality.
Okay, so let's hold on for just a
Yeah.
moment. Just um his future wife while on a yacht. And and he wants his marriage to be one that lasts like his parents. His parents have been married for 32 years, and he wants that.
Mhm.
And I feel like they worked a little bit harder than 6 weeks to make that something to last. I don't
I
know.
mean, maybe, I don't know. He's going to meet a lot of people in 6 weeks, all the charter guests. So
That's true. And they do say stranger things have happened at sea.
that's right. So, well, good luck to you, buddy. Okay, so to the club. Harry and Bree are dancing, and then he goes in for a kiss. And look at Harry, just like going in for the kill.
Love it.
And everybody is talking about it on the way back to the boat.
I was so proud of him. And in his green screen reaction was absolutely adorable. He was so excited. Mariana says that she's loving his directness. Vian, not so much.
Yeah. Okay, the next day, is it Marina? Why am I always questioning how to say her name? Isn't it just
Oh, it might
Marina?
be Marina. And if it is, I apologize.
I think. I'm not positive. Okay.
Yeah, you
So
might. Yeah,
Marina is into Vian and she said she likes seeing him walk around shirtless. I also don't mind him walking around shirtless.
true. So on our charter, I think we've discussed that shirts will be optional
Hmm.
for whoever wants to. And then they do have to wear sunscreen because we want to be safe. I mean, we'll help apply it, but
Of
you
course.
know, we
Of
got
course.
your
Safety
back,
first.
literally.
So Harry is not loving the close quarters in his room, which has three big boys in it. And so
Yeah.
he's going to move in with Vian. So does Vian have his own room right now?
It looks like it, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, I guess he could have said like no, because he's the bosun, but
Well, and I'm surprised he was okay with the arrangement, especially
yeah,
after he witnessed Harry going and like
right.
kissing, not making out, just kissing Bree.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, well, this will be interesting. So,
Yeah.
we see a picture of Bree's ex, and I thought she definitely has a type, right?
I totally thought that was Harry at first.
Yeah. A string bean, very slim, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dark hair.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the preference sheet meeting. We have Eric Rock. He has a porn star name, but that's not what he does for a living. He is an entrepreneur, a life coach, if you will.
Yes. Okay. I'm very curious about this group.
Yeah, I think I sent you his Instagram. I don't know if you had a
Yes,
chance to
yes, you did.
peruse it. I definitely prejudged him, and I am maybe correct about that judgment. I don't know. Okay. So, sunset cocktails on the beach, that's what they want. They also want some local Seychelles food, and some of them are going
Ooh,
to do
very
some
nice.
some diving.
I like all of this. Say that again. What kind of food?
Seychelles, I made it up.
Very
Is that
nice.
I don't know
I
what
love
they
it.
call
That
it.
was so good. Okay. I mean, what they want to do, it sounds like what you would do on a vacation.
Yeah.
Like nothing outrageous, nothing flashy, just
Hmm.
experience your surroundings. And I appreciate that.
For sure. Nothing too weird. So Anthony confronts Zarina and says he feels like he's been doing everything. He's been doing the crew food, he's been doing the guest food. Now he's putting the provisions away by himself. And she suggests, maybe instead of going to the beach with the guests, you could just go and have a 2-hour lie down. And she reminds him that it is early days. Like he will have breaks, and you can see Jason around the corner, like listening in on this conversation.
Yeah, I want her to succeed so much because women chefs are very rare and
Hmm.
especially in yachting. So, but Anthony is just making it so impossible for her to do that.
Yeah.
And, like you said he's doing everything. He's cooking all of the food for all of the guests. What?
Yeah, but at the same time, he's like, he wants more responsibility and he wants her to let him do more guest cooking. I'm like, wait, 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 wait. You can't have it both ways. Like, which is it?
Right. Little Marie Antoinette there.
Yeah.
Let them
So
eat cake.
Anthony calls a mate at home and he complains about the job situation. And he then texts another chef and asks if he knows of any boats that are hiring.
So he tells his friend he doesn't like her awkwardness, her dirty galley, or her dirty food.
What?
You in middle school? What was that?
Pretty wild. Okay,
Mm.
so the guests arrive, and I really appreciated how they put up the bio sheet for
Yeah.
Eric Rock. He has 119,000 Instagram followers, always has a videographer on hand. What was your first impression of him in this
They
group?
are definitely influencers
Hmm.
and are going to be taking lots of photos and videos. So, they'll be very focused on what they are trying to get content wise.
Yeah.
Um, they seem nice and
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
Um, one guest though, the crew points out he's already super sunburned, and they're kind of like giggling as he's walking
Yeah.
up to the boat.
Funny. So Jason confirms with Laura that the little guest balconies have been closed. Laura radios over to Vian. but his radio is lying on the bed and she doesn't wait to get a confirmation from him. Fortunately, one of the first officers sees that the balcony is still open and
Yeah.
Jason is like, somebody get down there and close it, like somebody, anybody. And so
Yeah.
Bree's down there trying to close it, but she doesn't know how. If Laura opened the balcony, she should have shut it.
Absolutely. If you can put it down, you can put it up.
Hmm.
So, and I agree with what she's trying to do. She wants to be able to show it off to to the guests as they get on to make it even more exciting.
Yeah.
But, you know, have it completely set up with the railings and the chairs before they arrive. And then as part of the departure checklist or whatever,
Hmm.
bring everything in and make it safe. It's just
Yeah, that's a good idea.
why didn't Vian run up to shut it down instead of just sitting there like, "God, it's not that confusing, you know,
I
or at
know.
least offer some guidance over the radio. I mean,
Yeah, something.
Mr. Audiobook,
Right. Oh, so the next scene. Oh, good. The appetizer tricycle is back.
Sarah, are you so excited?
So thrilled. Zarina said she was gonna get me on one for Christmas or Hanukkah or
So, Sarah,
birthday or
while they're
something.
departing, the guests are doing some B-roll videos and photos for their Instagram stories and reels. And I'm
Mhm.
wondering, is this what we look like? That's what
Yeah.
we look like at Fort Lauderdale, the boat show,
To-
isn't it?
Totally. And Bravo at BravoCon we kind of fit in because like a lot of people are trying to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely what we look like. Middle-aged influencers.
Yes.
So now it's water sports time and the crew starts setting up for the little like Sunset Beach thing.
So Anthony tells Zarina when they're talking about dinner for the evening, she's like, "Have you ever cooked octopus?" And he's like, "Yeah, a couple times. Like, I'll prepare it in the sous vide machine. It'll be great. I'll do it before we go."
Hmm.
Perfect. She's fine with that. And then I'm thinking, well, okay, this is new leaf. Maybe they could start working together. This is great.
Yeah, definitely. Um, I still have the same complaint about this new Down Under that I mentioned a couple episodes
Yeah.
ago. It moves so quickly between scenes that it's
Yeah.
hard for my brain to keep up. And I know we have short attention spans these days because of social media, but it's too fast for me. Is it just me?
No, no.
Okay.
I had to pause it a few times and go back. Like, wait a
Yeah.
minute. I'm like trying to write things down. And then I'm like, well, wait, what just happened? Like,
Yeah. I
you
mean, I know
blink in
we're
it, you
it's
can miss
different because
something.
we're taking notes, but I think even if I was just watching it, it's a lot to compute. And sometimes they'll show like three or four scenes happening at once. It's a lot.
It is a lot. It is too fast, and they need to maybe slow it down just a smidge for us old people. I mean, they did they did move the time up to 8 p.m. So,
Yeah,
I mean, so my email campaign did work on that one. So now we have to focus on the slowing it down a smidge, just a
that's right.
little.
So Anthony makes canapes on the beach and the guests really love it.
They were beautiful and very colorful, and
Mhm.
I'm glad the guests liked them because
Yeah,
if not,
right. So the deck team keeps commenting on the swell, and
yeah,
Harry is hooking up a jet ski. All of a sudden, he's yelling, and his thumb is injured. And Jason like says something to production. He jumps in a tender and like goes over and gets him. He needs a medic, and it turns out his thumbnail has been crushed.
Sarah, this was so horrible to see. He was in so much pain and he was scared too. Like, I
Yeah.
think that was even scarier for us to
Hmm.
watch. And then he gets onto the tender to get back onto the boat,
Hmm.
and like the tip of his thumb is like flapping in the wind. It
Oh,
was-
that was awful. That was really
Oh,
awful.
poor guy.
So Vian asks Eric about his life coaching on the beach, and he says, "My natural success led me there."
Okay.
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 A doctor arrives, and Harry is in a lot of pain, and he's now missing his nail, and so he could be susceptible to infections from the water. Like if you have an open
Yeah.
wound, you should not be swimming in
Yeah.
water. And
Yeah.
so he has to keep it dry and keep an eye on it, and that's going to be rough for a deckhand.
Yeah. And the medic's taking care of him and she's
Yeah.
being really kind. And at separate times, Lara and Zarina come up to give him some cuddles. And I mean, he's like the best bud for these ladies.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wanted to give him a cuddle. I felt so bad for him. I mean, he's just
Yeah.
so sad too.
Hmm. He just needed like his mommy.
I know.
So Anthony makes some kind of error with the octopus, so they can't serve it as a main dish tonight.
So Zarina's trying really hard to not lose her cool with him. She says, "That's all right. We'll have a plan." And she's ready to drop back and punt. But
Yeah.
oh, he did not need that to go wrong for him.
Yeah. So I didn't really gather exactly what happened, like the liquid or something drained out of the
So,
bag or.
so when you sous vide something, it's you put the meat in a
Mhm.
bag.
Okay.
It's vacuum sealed shut.
Okay.
And then you stick it in water that's set to a certain temperature and it's constantly moving.
Okay.
So it's cooking the meat that way. So it
Gotcha.
makes it super tender. But what happened here, it sounds like the bag was not fully sealed. So
Okay.
water got in, and then like you have this warm water just
Hmm.
constantly,
Ew.
and it just made rubbery looking octopus.
Yeah, that's not good. I think it's
Yep.
pretty hard to prepare octopus, so.
Mm.
But I liked how Zarina handled it. Like she
Yeah.
didn't make him feel bad. It's just like,
No.
all right, on to the next.
Yeah.
Okay, dinner time. These guests and their inspirational quotes, like I was just rolling my eyes.
Uh, I do like a good quote, but when that's the way that you talk all of the time, it gets really, really fast.
Yes. Okay. So I have to say, what did you think of Eric's blessing before they ate?
I don't know if I was really paying attention.
Oh, well, let me play it for you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. This is Eric's blessing here.
Okay.
You're gifted with great looks and leaving a valuable mark in this world. Life's really short. Stay on your purpose for the rest of the time. Amen, you guys. Amen.
Okay. Well, I mean, you got
He's
to believe in yourself, Sarah.
he's so blessed to have
So
good
blessed.
looks.
Hashtag blessed.
Yeah. But I thought maybe he was making a joke, but it doesn't sound like it.
No,
They
no,
were
I
all
think
like,
that's
"Oh yeah,
him.
amen,
Amen, brother.
amen."
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're loving the traditional Seychelles food, and the elevator is working. Things are looking up.
Yeah.
Um, Eric says that he lives his life like a wolf, and when wolves are like injured or not feeling well, they do not eat. So that's what he does. And one thing Eric doesn't know is that wolf has an L in it because he kept saying woof.
Is he from Ohio? Because I have some friends that say rough instead of roof.
I think it's unrelated. I have met several people that cannot say the L in wolf, and usually they're like 7 years old. But I just thought this was really funny.
So, what animal? This is just a legit question. What animal am I if all I do is eat, even when I don't feel well? And
Oh, something that grazes like cattle,
yeah, that seems right.
something like a
Okay.
goat.
Okay. Um, so why doesn't he feel well? What happened? Do we think maybe he's a little seasick? 'Cause-
I didn't get that he was talking about like right then.
Okay,
I think
okay.
just in general, he was like, here's a fun fact about woofs.
Woof. Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, woofs don't eat when they're sick. Let me tell you about this big bad woof. Okay. So Zarina talks to Jason about Anthony's inability to take direction from her, and
Yeah.
Jason is starting to listen. He thinks maybe it's time to move on.
And this is the only way she will succeed is if he is out of there.
Yeah, apparently. So Vian tells Marina she can go diving with Jason and the guests tomorrow because she's a diver. But he doesn't run it by Lara first. And he's going to give her a dare like the decks do as, compensation, I guess.
So as Wayne and Garth would say, that went over well. Not. Sorry, I was watching a lot of Saturday Night Live this weekend with their
Oh,
big
fun.
anniversaries and stuff.
50th
So,
anniversary. Love it.
yeah, yeah.
So Harry can't sleep that night. His thumb is just super painful.
I can't imagine the pain he's going through. And then just
Hmm.
not being able to rest
Hmm.
makes it all the more worse. Like, so have you ever broken a bone?
No, I haven't. Have you?
Yes. I broke my coccyx,
Oh, how'd you do
my
that?
tailbone. I was roller skating
Oh,
and then
no.
like my skate went like this and I went bomb right on the ground.
Ouch.
Yeah. So I broke
Hmm.
my butt bone. That was
Need
pretty
some more
cool.
junk in your trunk, I guess, huh?
Apparently.
Okay, so the next day, Harry is going to the hospital to get his thumb looked at, and Jason goes ahead and reaches out to a yacht staffer to like give them a heads up that he might need a deckhand replacement.
This is really heartbreaking.
I know, I
Like,
didn't think we were gonna have to go that far, so
yeah,
this is not good. So Anthony gets word that he can work on this other boat, and he tells Chef Dean, whoever that is, that he can probably be out of here in like a charter or two. And so he tells Zarina about the job, and she goes to tell Jason, and she says, I'd rather he just leave now.
yeah,
And Jason goes in there and it just tells him, like, pack your stuff and go ahead and go.
yeah. Deuces, Anthony. I also loved how Captain Dreamboat told him he was leaving today and then said, "That's just how I operate." It was so hot. So hot. And then it ended with a to be continued. So, I mean, we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, we'll
There's a
have to
lot up
see.
in the air right now.
Yeah,
Harry and
I know.
do you think they'll bring on a new sous chef for her?
I think they will. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
big boat, big galley, so I hope
Yeah.
they will. And that's like the new thing about one of the new things about this season. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Well, let's take a break and we'll come back with our trader segment and hot tub convo.
We are supported by BetterHelp. The start of the new year brings you 365 days of new possibilities. What do you want your 2025 to look like? Think of therapy as your partner, helping you plan the next chapter of your own life.
If you want to start your therapy journey in 2025, join BetterHelp's over 5 million users worldwide. BetterHelp is fully online, which helps make therapy affordable and convenient. And you can easily switch therapists at any time at no additional cost.
Write your next chapter with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/above deck today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/above deck.
We're back. It's time to discuss the traitors.
So, spoiler warning, we will be discussing episode 8 of Traitors for season 3. So, warning, warning, you have been warned.
Okay, so this is the night of the face-to-face murders, and
Yes.
sadly, we have to wait until the next day to see who they chose. So at breakfast, Tom Sandoval and I think Gabby are like sharing their experiences.
Yeah.
And Sam points out, this was really smart, that they might be able to figure out who the traitor is, who a traitor is, based on how they describe the night in the church. Because obviously the traitor would not maybe see Alan.
Right.
So
That's true.
so when Carolyn comes in, they ask her, what was it like? What was Alan wearing? And she's her usual hot mess self. And I
Which
was
is good.
wondering, did she even see Alan last night?
That was a good catch by Sam. I'm not sure. Like, these guys are so good, but I guess that
Hmm.
when that's all you're focused on,
Yeah.
you are super on it. So,
Hmm.
um, so they ask Carolyn this stuff. She's bumbling all over herself. And then Tom stands up and just kind of says, well, while she's trying to figure out what to say and tells her what he was wearing. And everybody's like, no,
You
Tom,
idiot.
don't do that.
Oh, he's so clueless.
Yeah.
Okay, so they flash back to the church, and Chriselle doesn't have a big reaction when she sees who the traitors are.
Yeah.
And she does say in her confessional that Carolyn was a big surprise for her.
Agreed. Carolyn is playing this game so well, and she's
Hmm.
being very careful. Now, Danielle, on the other hand,
Yeah, Danielle with her theatrics. Okay, so there's a lot of chatter throughout the day of like, could Danielle be a traitor? Could Brittany be a traitor? What about Sierra? If the coffin theory is still, if one of the traitors was in the coffin.
and then cut to Tom standing at the foot of a statue of a large stag, saying, Lord Stag, give me some answers. It's like, oh Lord, what are we doing?
He knows he makes good TV. It's so
Oh my
funny.
gosh.
Okay, so
Goofball.
when Alan is describing this doll challenge, it sounds impossible. And it's
Right?
like that bird challenge from last year, which I thought was so funny.
I kept thinking, how are they even going to begin to get this?
Yeah.
And in Brittany's interview, she's talking of the musical passions of Tom Sandoval. It was cracking me up. But I mean, of all the people, he does have some
I
background in music.
know.
So as much
Yeah,
as we don't want to admit that,
I think he did great. So
yeah,
when the group like gets to the dollhouse, there's like water squirting out of doll's eyes. Everyone is looking for shields, except Tom Sandoval, who is just trying to listen to these dolls to like figure this out. He's
I mean,
really trying, and they end up, I can believe it, but they got all the nursery rhymes, and Sierra finds a shield.
she does because that's what she does.
Yes. Well, and she needs one tonight. Okay. But the shield does not protect her from being banished, only from being murdered. So there's
That's
that.
right.
Okay, so the round table. There's a lot of discussion that they think at least one woman is a traitor because the other two that they found so far are men. I think that's a good hypothesis.
Yeah.
And everyone is going with Sierra. And I thought Danielle actually defended herself pretty well at the round table, too.
Yeah, I thought so too. And it seems that the round table has a new leader in a way in
Hmm.
Sam. He's kind of taken over the role that Bob the drag queen had and then Boston Rob had. So it's kind of neat to see him stand up, but I can't look at him and not think you used to be married to Britney Spears. That's all I
Right.
think about.
Well, it's like we had to get some of those alpha woofs out of there, and then he
I,
was able to kind of
I
move
see
in.
I see what you did there.
Okay, so Sierra is banished.
She was like the first complete like unanimous vote, right?
Yeah, we haven't seen that before.
That's
So
interesting.
interesting. I mean, because there's so few people left, like your vote
Yeah.
really does count if you're going to get enough votes to get somebody out.
So the amount of curse words that came out of her mouth was annoying. Like
Yeah.
a curse word here, there is fine. Like we all drop them, it happens.
Hmm.
But every other word was F this and F that. And my God, I've just turned into my mother. But I mean, seriously though, like there was no
Yeah, it's a
reason.
lot.
It was a
Yeah.
lot.
So tonight, the traitors can either murder somebody
Yeah.
or they can recruit a new traitor. And
Yes.
so Danielle and Carolyn cannot get on the same page. Like, Carolyn doesn't want
Surprise.
to bring in anybody else. She just wants to, like, take them to the end.
Yeah.
Don't want to deal with somebody else. And Danielle is like, no, like, let's bring somebody else in.
Yeah.
For entertainment purposes, I really hope that they recruit.
I want to see either Dolores or Tom Sandoval. And the reason, so I think Dolores would just be a good traitor, kind of like
Yeah.
Phaedra in that way. I think Tom would be good because he would not be able to keep himself like straight
Yeah.
with stories and stuff,
Yeah.
but they would let him go and it would take like they would vote him off and then they would take the heat off of Danielle and Carolyn.
Yeah. Well, I think
But
that was kind of their reasoning for bringing in, if they bring in a woman,
yeah,
because everyone's already thinking a woman is a traitor. So,
yeah,
then they could kind of plant the seed that that person is a traitor, and then they'll be like, oh, well, the last, if there are any other traitors, it could be a man or a woman, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So, I
So
don't
good.
know. It's gonna be interesting. And next episode, we're gonna get to see Kate and Parvati, so that's exciting.
Yay! Two queens. I love it. So it's time for Hot Tub Combo, where we discuss what's happening with our favorite below deck cast members.
So Captain Dreamboat has been promoting season 3 of Down Under like crazy, both in the
Yeah,
US and Australia. And in Sydney, Hey You did a hot tub meet and greet at Bondi Beach
yeah, they
last week
did.
that looked so fun. And there were girls dressed with disco helmets, and then there was like this giant hot tub photo op. And
Yes.
Jason, in his stories, he showed these city buses that had his picture, of him coming out of the water on it. And then at the bus stop were these posters that said bigger, better, wetter. So good.
Oh, I love Captain Jason. I'm so excited for him and all of the success he's had with this
Yeah,
show. And I like to think that we had something to do with that, Sarah.
for sure.
Okay. So remember last week when you called those scorpions Taylor Swift scorpions?
Yeah.
So we had a listener named Lisa. She corrected you. They're called tailless whips.
It totally sounds like Taylor
Taylor Swift,
Swift.
tailless whips. I get it. I see it.
You guys are kind of looking at me like Taylor Swift. Oh,
I'm
okay.
like,
I'm
hey,
like, that's what he said. I mean, I heard Taylor Swift. Oh gosh,
and
that
we didn't
really made
stop
me laugh.
you.
So I finally watched the Watch What Happens Live with Serena and Jason, like in its entirety, not just the clips. And Jason said that Laura will eventually pick a second stew. So that's going to be
Hmm.
interesting. And Andy played this game called Just the Tip and asked Jason if there are like certain things he would do for the tip. And he said he would let guests eat sushi off of his naked body as long as there weren't cameras.
Well, then I got to add this to our list. I don't even eat sushi, but I might try it.
There you go. So it sounds like Zarina and Jason do not like a dare. I thought this was interesting because we really haven't seen much about her so
No.
far. And Zarina was like, "Help me out here, Jason." And Jason said she's really loud.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. So it
interesting.
sounds like there's going to be some conflict or something coming with her.
Yeah.
Zarina was surprised to see that the things that Laura said about her, during the season
Yeah.
because she thought they
That's,
were like good buddies.
yeah.
So some tension there. And Jason said 2025 is his year of love. Like he is planning to date, he's planning to find a partner. So let's make it happen.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Zarina was asked about Joao. She said she's not in touch with him, but regardless of what they went through personally, she said he's really good at his job, one of the best like crew members she's ever worked with.
Oh,
So that
fun.
was nice. Um, and Zarina said that this season is like Love Island on a boat. So apparently there's going to be a lot of boatmances happening.
Oh,
So
dear.
that's
A lot of
exciting.
dropping of anchors.
Probably.
Oh, dear.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but on the after show, it's on YouTube for every Watch What Happens Live. There's like a 3 or 5 minute like YouTube video that has kind of a looser vibe. So that's a good hack if you can't Watch What Happens Live wherever you are, you could at least watch the after show on YouTube. So on the after show, Jason gave Andy some gifts. He gave him a kimono. He has a line of kimonos. And he also gave him his new fragrance, which comes out this year, I think maybe next month. So I bet he'll be selling that at a booth at BravoCon. So
Yes.
I'm very excited to catch a little whiff of Captain J.
So Kate Chastain has been hosting a show for Bravo Insiders called Bravo Bravo effing Bravo. So she interviews Bravo celebrities and you have to sign up to get access.
Have
It's
you
kind of
watched
fun.
any of these, by the way?
I haven't gotten into them yet. Like I haven't had a chance to like,
Yeah, I've watched like a few minutes, but they're always at like 7 p.m. on I don't know, some random
yeah,
day. So it doesn't always like fit with my schedule. I don't know that I mean, I know it's recorded, but it's kind of like you have to catch it live.
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
kind of fun. It's kind of like a tiny version of Watch What Happens Live a little bit. So,
Yeah, I did try to jump on. I forget there was one last week and I clicked the link and it was like, this has ended. And I'm like, it's only 8 o'clock. What are we talking about? And then I
right.
realized it
Yeah,
had
it was
happened at
probably like
7. So
7 to 8. Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know. That's fun. I think anyone can go and like sign up to be put in your email address, whatever. Um, or it might just be some kind of exclusive little beta testing thing. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's out
I
there.
like it.
Google it. Okay, so Laura the Chief Stew shared some videos this weekend of her and Chef Jono horsing
Yeah.
around. And so I sent her a message. I'm like, wait, you guys know each other? Do you work on the same boat? She said they've been friends for years and they are currently
Oh,
working together. So that's cool.
oh, I love that. Are they
Yeah.
well, they must not be taping because
Yeah,
they're
no.
usually radio silent if they're taping,
Right, right.
right?
Yeah, I'm
So,
sure
oh,
they're
that's
just working
exciting
on
though.
on a boat together. So,
Such a
yeah,
small world.
I know. I love it. It's time for our segment, Join Me in the Wheelhouse, where we decide who needs to see Captain Dreamboat for a stern talking to. Kelli, who are you going to call to the wheelhouse and why?
I think we know this will be the last time too. So, Anthony, and I'm saying it that way because you're a brat, come on up here.
That's it for this week's episode of Above Deck. Thank you to our team at Hurrdat. Thank you to our producer. Thank all of you for listening. Please subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to tell a friend, and please rate and review us 5 stars only.
Please follow us on Instagram at abovedeckpod, and you can email us at abovedeckpod@gmail.com. And you can watch our episodes on the Hurrdat Entertainment YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Kelli Busby.
And I'm Sarah Goldman. We'll see you next week.